Hey, what's going on? It's Dark Angel, and I am pumped. I just got my brand new copy of Pokemon the Black version 2, and I am just so excited. I've been waiting for this thing all 2012, and I'm pumped. I'm psyched. Or at least I was until I found out yesterday that PETA, yes, the People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, had changed their LinkedIn profile to reflect that they're now working for Team Rocket. Yeah, you know, Jesse James, Meowth, all that jazz. What the heck? I didn't know the economy was that bad that, activist groups had to resort to working for international criminal syndicates. That's just insane. Now, obviously, my terrible sarcasm underlines a more serious issue. PETA is going after Pokemon in a big way currently. Apparently, if you play these games, you are a bully and an animal rights abuser in PETA's eyes. I don't really know what logic they're getting on, but I'm kind of all sorts confused because I never thought I'd be talking about PETA and Pokemon in the same sentence. If you swing by PETA.com, there's a new Pokemon game that's even newer than the new ones that just got released this week called PETA's Pokemon Black and Blue Gotta Free 'em All. And I smell a lawsuit. Seriously, Nintendo, sue their pants off. So apparently you play as Pikachu. Sorry, you can't talk about this or play this game with a straight face, but it's on their PETA.com. You play as Pikachu, who's escaped his owners, and you attack Pokemon owners to free other Pokemon with attacks such as group hug or protest. The gameplay, the character designs, I mean, in a news cycle where I am more sick of copyrights than I know what to do with myself, this is one case where I would honestly happily see one company sue PETA into bankruptcy. It's ridiculous because the game is spot on. Now, this whole argument's insane, and if you're backing PETA or funding PETA, then maybe you might want to consider what this company is doing because they're going after a video game. These are fictional characters. These situations don't exist. There is no animal abuse in Pokemon because Pokemon does exist. And if it did exist, there would be laws about animal abuse towards Pikachu and Squirtle and Charmander. But that's not the case. It's a video game. Come on, seriously? You're seriously gonna waste our time with this when the world's falling apart? Pokemon's the biggest issue? I don't believe this. Like I said, if you're backing PETA, you may want to consider that. Now, I'm kind of bothered personally because this reminds me of an old Boondocks comic by Aaron McGruder, where they're talking about activists that go after gun rights promoters, at least here in the States. I guess the tagline is, would you rather go after the nerds that make games about video games, make games about shooting and guns? Would you rather go after the gun right owners who have assault rifles? Who are you more scared of? And I'm like, is it because no one's talking about animal rights abuse? Is it because you're low on donations and no one's giving to you? Is it because there aren't any football players kicking a puppy down the road that you have to attack video games? Have we forgotten what Pokemon games are? That's all they are. They're entertainment. They're children's entertainment at that. Pokemon doesn't teach bullying. That's not something you can learn from that. But here's what I've learned from PETA. That the right-wing establishment in this country, at least currently, do not enjoy yellow characters that have hit shows that teach children the value of life and education. Big Bird Pikachu 2016. Let's get on that. Somebody start a Kickstarter, please. Now, obviously, I've got a little more passion than most people about this issue because this game I have been playing since Pokemon Red in the late 90s. It hits me right in the childhood. I'm passionate. I'm very passionate. I've been playing this game for a while. But I'm more passionate about the fact that we do need to stop bullying, and we do need to curb bullying, and we do need to teach tolerance, and animal abuse is not okay. But to scapegoat one of the biggest video game and multimedia franchises in the world, not America, not Japan, not Russia, not some part of the world that no one's ever heard about or doesn't know because they haven't studied it in social studies, but the world, internationally, everybody knows who Pikachu is. And you want to go after that guy? Really? I can't even begin to try to make sense of this argument. So let's pretend for the sake of argument that PETA has any validity to them whatsoever. And let's argue them on crazy man terms, because that's what you have to do when going in on this. These games will teach you how to become a bully, an animal rights abuser. According to PETA, that's a fact. Let me tell you what Pokemon teaches you, PETA. Pokemon teaches you self-respect. It teaches you self-esteem. It teaches you character building. It teaches you financial planning. It teaches you biology. It teaches you reproduction. It teaches you urban planning and development. It teaches you strategy. It teaches you resource management. It teaches you conservation. It teaches you tolerance. And it teaches you that intolerance is not acceptable. You have a problem with the rights that you think Pokemon are or are not getting? Take it up in anime parliament. They'll be more than happy to settle that case for you. What's more, the Pokemon are always taken care of. The Pokemon Center Corporation is on every major continent in Poke-Earth. Again, this argument is giving any validity to PETA's argument. So bear with me, those of you who understand the difference between fact and not fact. Just bear with me. So yeah, there's a thing called the Pokemon Center, which is open 24/7, holidays, birthdays, extreme weather, acts of God, acts of villains who would be gods. It doesn't matter what's going on. The Pokemon Center is always open. So the Pokemon have healthcare. They have trainers that respect them, that trust them, that work with them, that grow with them. Their trainers do not beat them. Their trainers do not abuse them. They have jails too. They don't really have to use them because no one's a bad guy. And bad guys get reformed when they get beat by the good guys. The argument about the Pokeballs, the whole, if you put a Pokemon in a Pokeball, then they'll be chained up, they'll be burdened. Well, here's what a Pokeball does, because there's a science to a Pokeball. It converts your Pokemon, your pet as it were, into light energy, into subatomic particles that can travel in this little metal capsule, which is essentially the size of an orange. And if you press the little button inside, it's the size of a golf ball. And you can carry this thing anywhere. And this is one of the things I find funny with PETA's laughable argument that I'm going to entertain for the sake of this video. If we had that technology, if we had the technology to have little ball-sized capsules to carry our actual dogs and cats and fish and parrots and who knows what in, we would. In fact, we'd probably buy another pet just because we could carry them anywhere. To have them with us, to always have them with us, to always be able to take care of them, to always bring them with us to work, to always have them around when we needed them, to always have them for comfort, to always have them to play with the kids, to always have them with us in the wilderness, to always warn us of an event. We would bring our pets if we had a mechanism that could allow us to do that. Like, that's the sort of thing I see my grandchildren's generation coming out with. 50, 70 years from now, where you can just take Fido and it's like, Fido, come here, and Fido's in the Pokeball, and you go on the family trip, and that's that. So they're not squished or cramped. They're not chained. If they don't feel comfortable, there have been several examples of them breaking out of the Pokeball. If you actually watch the cartoon, it's a very consensual agreement amongst all parties. And what's more, here's the most ridiculous thing about this argument, and this is, I'll make this point and I'll get back to reality. What PETA's trying to do, the whole separate trainers from Pokemon and pull them apart, that was the very plot of Pokemon Black and Pokemon White. That was the whole storyline where this kid named N was raised from a child. Spoilers, stop the video. If you haven't played these games, turn the page for a few more seconds. Alright, so yeah, kid named N big green hair. He was raised from childhood to believe that if he separated Pokemon from people, everyone would be happy. And the fact of the matter is that the infrastructure of this world, of this digital imaginary world, is built that the Pokemon and humans help each other and work with each other and benefit each other and love each other and care about each other and grow with each other. And at the end of the story, you figure out he's misguided, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and the mentor that brainwashed him was only in it for ulterior motives. It doesn't work. So, PETA, really, I don't know what bone you're on right now, but you need to get off of it. And you need to quit trying to do your job and crawl under a rock. And we need to forget you ever existed. This is embarrassing on several levels. So I really hope that someone notices this and pays attention to this and they're like down with PETA, because I think this is the point where, as an activist organization, you guys have jumped the shark. I think this is the point where people need to stop giving money to you. I think this is a point where people need to stop respecting you. I think at this point you have no more credibility as an activist organization because you're attacking video games. And just one more thing. This is not the first time they've attacked video games, but it is one of the biggest franchises that they've gone after. And this is definitely something that needs more attention brought to it. Not because there's a game you can play on PETA.com, but we have influential activist groups that think they can just attack whoever they want to better their message. The world does not work like that. If you have a message, that's fine. Get it out there. But we don't need collateral damage, especially senseless collateral damage, when you're trying to make a point that really isn't a point. Whatever you're trying to say, it's not there. You can't pull stuff out of thin air and say, these are the facts and it betters our message. It doesn't. And if you think these games cause bullying, why are you trying to bully children into believing that the character, and not just children, but people that have grown up with the series, there's a thing called fan base. You guys might want to look into it, PETA. Why are you trying to bully the fans and the children and the parents into thinking, you're bullying people into thinking that bullying is wrong? Where's the logic in that? So that's my rant for the day. And like I said, I hope this goes under a rock and we forget that PETA ever existed. Those of you playing Pokemon out there, keep it up. Big ups to all the fan base out there, and everyone who is tolerant, everyone who does actually stop bullying, everyone who's out there actually doing something to stop animal abuses. Thank you, and please keep doing your job. And let's keep jokers like this out of the news and off the internet, and just let's be done with people like this.